All right, Will's here from the Northstar Health Alliance, and you're a recovery coach.
Yes, sir. I'm a recovery coach. I was trained down in Connecticut. I just moved back here in March, and I'm trying to bring my experience, strength, and hope back to the North Country, where unfortunately my addiction began, like so many other people's.
What does a recovery coach do?
That's a great question. I get asked that quite often, and honestly, there's no one definitive answer to that. We're kind of like a jack of all trades in the recovery community. On any given day, I could find myself in the emergency room. I could find myself in a boardroom meeting. Depends on the day and where my services are best utilized.
What have you found around here that's unique to here when it comes to addictions? Is it all the same no matter where you are, or is there are things that go on here that don't normally happen elsewhere?
So the North Country is definitely a little more unique, in my opinion. Where I came from, there wasn't a whole lot of meth being used.
Right.
But up here, that's one of the most predominant substances out on the street that people are, really struggling with. So addiction is everywhere. Different regions are going to have different substances. Like right now in the major cities, you're dealing with what's called tranq, the fentanyl laced with the xylazine. And unfortunately, that will be making its way up here, in the near future, because it's going to expand from the urban setting out to the rural.
Now, your role, how do you get them from the ER with an overdose to being recovered from it? How do you make that transition? What do you do?
So typically what we do is if I get called to the emergency room, I'll go in and I'll meet the patient, and I'll try to make the best connection I can under those circumstances. And we're going to collaborate and try to decide what the best course of action is for that individual. Because I believe that we should treat the individual, not the disease.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell somebody this is what you should do. What I'm going to say is, how can I help you? What do you need? Let me help you on your pathway. I'm not going to dictate it. And then after we kind of come together with a plan, what I can do, say they want to go to a detox, which if somebody's in the emergency room, a lot of times that would be the next step, is to go to a detox. What I would do is try to get down and secure a detox bed somewhere. And then, that person starts getting into early recovery through treatment. And then where my job really gets important is once that person is discharged from whatever treatment facility or, whatever kind of treatment they decide to go to, once they get home, that's when I really, when my support can really come into play. When that person is struggling with, say, cravings or triggered by certain things, I'm able to, what best way can we get through this situation? How can I help you? Instead of turning to the coping skills we've known for so long, let's, before it gets to that, let's talk about this. What are the other pathways we could explore to help you stay sober?
What's the role of the family and friends in this transition?
The role of the family and friends, is, in my opinion, to be as supportive as possible. A lot of times that can be tough depending on that family and friend dynamic. In some situations, the family is very supportive. In some situations, unfortunately, the person struggling has kind of marginalized their family, whereas, they kind of, or you could say, burn those bridges, and they don't have that support. So a lot of times in early recovery, the recovery coach becomes that one, one definitive support that they can always count on. I tell people that I see, I don't, with my history with addiction, when I was struggling, it wasn't 9 to 5, it could be 10 at night, could be 4 in the morning. And what I want to relay to anybody I work with is whenever you're struggling, somebody will be there for you. Somebody will pick up the phone and help you get through whatever situation you're dealing with at that time.
So your role is to get them from having all their issues, working their way through it, and then, getting to the other side, realizing that their life is now better than it was when they were addicted and all that, and they were affecting not just themselves but their family and friends and their lives and all that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And with me going in there, having struggled with addiction myself for 27 years and found my way out of it with the help of the recovery community, I can be that face. I can be like, hey, you know what? This is possible because, 10 years ago, I was sleeping with a bottle of whiskey under my pillow, and now I'm talking to board members. It's amazing what recovery can do. And a huge part of what I do is I want to be able to share that hope with people who have no hope left. Be like, hey, if I can do it, anybody can do it, and I'll help you do it.
We appreciate what you do because your job is not very easy.
No, it can be.
It's not.
It can be tough, but again, that's where the beauty of that experience, strength and hope comes in. Because having lived it, having walked in those shoes, I understand the difficulties more so than a doctor who is amazingly trained, but
hasn't lived that life,
has no idea what it feels like to be sitting in that hospital bed, withdrawing from alcohol or opiates or whatever it might be. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in today and sharing your story. Will.
Absolutely. And if I could throw one other thing in there, I just wanted to promote. We're doing an event here in Ogdensburg on Monday. We're having dinner at the Elks Lodge from 5:30 to 7:30.
Okay.
Free buffet. The food looks amazing.
Okay.
And it's going to be a celebration of recovery. We're going to have some people speaking, sharing their experience, strength, and hope, and what recovery has meant to them in their lives. It's going to be a wonderful time. It's going to be free of charge. And I'm hoping, I know the recovery community up here in Ogdensburg is wonderful. And I'm just hoping we can keep expanding and make it so addiction and recovery is not a dirty word.
All right. So Monday at the Elks in Ogdensburg, free food. Thanks, Will.
Thank you so much.